What's going on, team? Welcome back to Start Swing Trade, where we get you to the swing trades ideas, of course. And you guys know this is my bread and butter. We're going to talk all about my trading action, and I did take some trades even just a short while ago, closing up some oil trades to the downside, and also a trade on the upside there for the SQQQ. Looks like we're getting a little bit of some topping action here in the SPY and the Qs. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's take a look at the market. Here you guys see the SPY down to 426.68. Doesn't look the best right now. Just trying to hang on by a thread here. We'll see what else is going on with this. SPY looks like it wants to go lower, and also the Qs coming lower today. And does this mean that it's a top? I mean, one thing that I started seeing was like the SPY daily candle, and this looked like a little bit like kind of a topping action. So does it mean that it's completely gone to, to another level? No, I mean, doesn't mean that we're down at 420 today in one day, right? But one thing that I mentioned is I've been looking for around this resistance around 430s, 429s to kind of play as resistance and for the market to start working its way back after real good expansion week. Now let's see if we get some pullback. And I just jumped in on the SQQQs there on the lows just recently, was able to ride it there from a trade on Mumu. So really good trade on the small account. Another nice little, $15 return, and it just pushes me forward. I did a swing trade on MP, pushing that forward. And on the prop, was able to bounce back on a short on XOM. So that went pretty well off of the VWAP from 106.04s. Got top shares taken out there at the 59 spot. Also got some out at 67. Could still be in this trade too and just kind of riding this trend line down. But I tell you the truth, guys, I wanted to go eat some lunch. I didn't want to watch this too much. So I took the profits and ran with the cash. Can't be mad about it. But let's get to the swing trade action today. What happened? Well, Mara is one stock that I did stop out of this stock today. And stopped out of this one at the 960 spot. Was looking to see if we were going to be able to hold support there. We did not hold support. And of course, you saw the news with Binance and the SEC kind of affecting this, as Binance of course, the SEC going after Binance, and that actually causing an effect on Bitcoin going lower, Mara going lower. So I'm getting out of these Bitcoin style plays. These are not the plays I want to be. Now, there is one stock I did add to today that I am deep into the red now, which is Intel. I have a 3093. I have an ability to add one more time to this stock, but I'm trying to be patient as it's pulling back pretty significantly and pretty fast, right? So I think this is an opportunity to kind of add down here. I'm going to wait till probably the end of the day, and I might take one more add on Intel and then just hold to that position and see where I can manage this one. This is a little bit of a longer term swing, and we have a couple of these right now. We have NCLH today that, guess what? Finally taking some profits in NCLH. I took it at 1608, so not too bad on this. Can't be mad. I've been riding this since 1361, so you can't be mad about that. 1361, that was back here when we were down on this pullback. Nice little move here on this stock, moving higher. So I'm up about 17.88%. So, I mean, am I going to be mad? I'm getting into this box. We drew this box on the 25th of May and was looking to see if it can get in there. It's already getting to that level. So I'm taking some profits here at 16, and we'll look to take it all out towards 1750 or 17 if I can get up there. And this will be a really nice win, like a 20% win. Can I be mad about that? Can't be mad about that. All right, let's keep going to some other swing trades that we have working on right now. And I see you guys in the chat. Smash the like for me, guys. And of course, smash the like for the heat. You know what it's all about. Let's go ahead and tune in. How you guys doing out there? EKS, Raz, Wisdom. What's up out there? Smoke Tuna. You to the moon, baby. We'll talk a little bit about you coming up. The Crow out there. Wisdom. How's it doing, guys? Brug Light, it's good to see you guys. Unity halted? Ooh, there's the move in Unity. Unity software, big spike up. Looks like this is news related And this was on our alert and kind of a watch for a stock that was giving us an opportunity in what area? ARKK, of course. So this means that, well, I'm feeling great about my ARKK swing. Of course, I still got Unity. I still got ARKK from 39.06. So we're going to see if this can keep pushing higher. Just been riding this ARKK up, and I haven't really sold any shares of it. I want to just keep riding it. Now I'm up about 6.8% and doesn't look too bad. Square, another name that I keep right now that I could sell up here for a nice little kind of 2.5% win, but I'm looking for a little bit more. I'm looking for a move back above the 70 mark. So if I can get there, we'll see what happens on block, but definitely pulling back a little bit. And there was another stock, of course, that I had, LAZR, something that I will keep on watch. We'll see how this one kind of performs. Right now, I'm kind of holding towards a 650. If this does break 650s, I'll get out of this name. We'll see what happens on LAZR. Let's go back to Unity, see how it's performing on the day. And man, nice little push there. You guys know why Unity is halted. Definitely let me know. I can take a look at it, but of course, I'd have to just kind of peek into Benzinga Pro here. Or let me just go ahead and see if I can find out, see what I can see in the market right now. And man, the SQQQ's pulled back fast there to 58 and right back up there to 86. But Unity is just rocketing off here. Looks like there's some World Metaverse in Education, an analyst report. So I'm looking around to see what else is going on in Unity today, because there has to be something there. Is it Apple news with Unity? Oh, I was watching it until just before kind of this start. So Apple crushed their product announcement today. I saw a lot of that Apple announcement. Let's talk a little bit about what I saw from Apple. I can't talk too much about the Unity mention because I was watching it the whole time until right now. And look, they go and then make a Unity mention. But one thing that I saw was a certain game to be released, and I was watching a lot of them on the goggles. The goggles seemed really interesting, to tell you the truth. It almost tips me over to maybe get an Apple phone so that the goggles could work well with it, but we won't go there yet. The big thing is talking about the goggles. What are certain features that it has that maybe the Meta Quest doesn't have? Well, certain things that are really important, right? Like, let's say if someone is passing in front of you or you're able to talk to somebody, is one feature that in the past you would have to take the goggles off, right, to kind of talk to somebody. And then there's a couple of other features. I think one thing that I like that what Apple did here is it seems like they combined their headset to not only be for gamers, but also for, let's say, office enthusiasts that are trying to, let's say, have an unlimited desktop, things like that, right? So these are things that I think are definitely going to help Apple in the long run. The only question is this kind of more a sell the news event here? Because you guys are seeing Apple just take down here. And it looks to me like it is one of those events. But this did help other names. Unity just taking off there, right? We'll see what other names are starting to push. Mitch, don't use Apple. Man, you're missing out. Yeah, I don't use Apple. I personally just don't at all. I don't use it anywhere. And I can tell you that right now, right off the bat. I mean, I find so many other features for so many other kind of apps and things like that. I use a Samsung. I mean, I that's what I use right now. I mean, I feel like it has the same thing that Apple has, but I guess I'm wrong. I don't know. But hey, we'll see what happens. Unity now to 35.46, and this is just going to help my ARKK position. So another position that I was looking at with Unity, of course, and this is one thing that we were talking about it, man, what a nice position this gave you an opportunity around the 30s. That's really where it was looking really nice, but now it's already taking off. One stock that I can continue maybe taking a hit to the downside is Meta. This is turning around right now. I might actually short this in the kind of we could do this in the prop account. We could do a little short on this. This actually looks like a good opportunity here today to get short on Meta, because it looks like a little bit of some topping action here, right? You see a little bit of a turning around the 275. This could come right back down there towards the 90 MA first and then really break. But the news that was talked about here, it just seemed to me like they were really going after Meta's lunch, right? And of course, this is Facebook, and they changed their name to Meta. so that they could really seem more related to the metaverse and kind of the VR life. But the truth is, if Apple's going to really kind of kill it in the VR space, I'll tell you right now, I feel bad for Meta because they're going to have to push really hard to try to convert Apple users away from the Apple goggle and go to the Quest 3, right? Well, I don't think they're going to be able to do that, right? So I think in the long run, Zuckerberg just got hit. And he's definitely scratching right now. He's like, what can I do? Because the truth is that Apple has kind of, and I'll say kind of a little bit of a monopoly, right? Apple and Samsung going, right? Pretty much those are the two phones that get used, maybe Android and Apple. You think about it in that sense. But the truth is that do we really need to go towards the Quest 3? Probably not, because it seems like these goggles are going to have everything that the Quest 3 has, unless he's holding something back. So we'll see what happens there. But definitely the market overall just seems like it's turning around right now. And I feel like this is kind of more of a profit-taking moment. And it's okay to find these. It could be another deep time frame pullback and we get another push up. But I'm also starting to look to see if we can start coming back after making a monster move to the upside. All right, oil today, of course, a little bit of a mixed news coming from the oil game. Of course, you guys heard about OPEC. OPEC, what did they do? Well, they kept the production cuts that they had. They maintained their production cuts. Saudi Arabia comes in here and says, we'll voluntarily cut another 1 million barrels just to try to help the price of oil kind of get a little prop up. It did get a prop up, but really quickly got faded right back down. And if I take a look here at WTI, and let me just do another peek because I took a look before I went to lunch there. I see it around like 72. And what did it do this morning? It went down to 72.15, bounced all the way to like 73s, and then comes right back to 72. So this goes to show me I can continue looking for oil shorts. I really liked how this came back towards the daily resistance and then came right back down. So this gives me an opportunity to continue looking at like XLE, names like this for some shorting action. I really don't mind these, and I'm going to continue to watch that to kind of keep playing the short on the oil game. And I think this is an opportunity here. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what happens in the oil game overall. I'd still keep watch on Chevron, names like this, and Oxy, of course. Just been hanging out here in the 58s, the 59s, the 60s. Eventually, I think this is going to give. And if it does give and goes through, like, let's say 56 or 50, where's Oxy going to be? It could easily be back down to 45 and 40s. And then maybe Warren comes in and buys the whole company. I don't think he will, but it's something to keep in mind, right? He has been stepping up almost every time. The only question is, does he continue to step up? And what happens if it breaks through, like, let's say 56? All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Money Mitch, my recent and first cruise on Carnival. There you go. The Princess was packed. So still so many people spending, like you said. Yes, exactly, David Scott. And I mean, this is why I have Norwegian Cruise Lines. I'm kind of mad that I sold Carnival too early. I sold this one for like a 8 or 10% win when I could have easily got this kind of nice pullback. I got the entrance really nice around 10. I just didn't ride it up towards these levels. That's a nice 23% win. Look at RCL. Big move there. Ever since I came back, I mean, guys, I went on my cruise in April 25th. I came back. April, like kind of like right here. This is when I came back here on the first. The first is when I came back, and I was already saying that, hey man, these things are packed. Look at how it's been since then. It's been rocketing there in RCL. I couldn't go after that one because I felt like it was already at the top, but really nice moves in the cruise lines. Now, American and the airlines is where I've been fighting myself. But if the oil game is going to continue dropping, I feel like eventually I got to grab some of the airlines. The only question is the recession going to come to play and kind of hurt that outlook? That's some things that we got to keep in mind. All right, let's go to the sectors. Of course, everybody's favorite time where we get into what was hot today and what was not. Let's take a look there at communication services in the green today, being able to bounce back. And What was up earlier today? Did you guys see how everything was like flipping around? There was definitely some data issues out there. Healthcare having a decent day, up about 0.22. Healthcare plans continuing to ride higher, at least grind higher, as you see UNH coming back to 500. ELV, one of my favorites. When this starts turning around, I can start looking at this one. Nice little trend move in the last 3 or 4 days. Look at that little reversal. Nice little 9% move. CVS also starting to catch a little bit of a bounce. We'll see how much the healthcare names can bounce, but not doing bad right now. Lilly catching a little bounce right back up there. Merck still hanging around. So it seems like the bigger drug manufacturer names are hanging around. But where are we seeing things get hit? Well, we started seeing things get hit in diagnostics and research and specialty drug manufacturers. So just be careful out there. It's not everything green in, of course, healthcare today. All right, let's keep going. Mitch, when you went on your cruise, I bought in your news. Yeah. And that's what it's all about, man. I mean, if I'm going on it, and I tell you, if I look around and I see the next ship full, the ship before me full, my ship is full, and then when I see the prices online, because I've been looking at new cruise lines, like trying to go on like a Carnival versus Royal Caribbean, checking them all out, right? Well, I can clearly see the prices are there and demand seems to stay high. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other stocks. You guys smash the like out there. We got over 91 of you guys out there. Let's see if we can get it over 100, maybe 200, maybe 300, but hit the like. Let's go. This is how we keep growing here and get to bigger guests. All right, let's take a look at what other stocks and sectors are making moves today. Utilities catching a little bit of a bounce. Not anything that I would really be looking at. I mean, utilities, not really sexy right now. Basic materials trying to bounce a little bit. You can keep your eyes on this. I'd say kind of keep your eyes on silver and gold. For me, I feel like this is starting to set up for the next move, especially if we somehow get a little bit of a pullback in the market. I'd be keeping an eye on the kind of silver and gold. GOLD is one that I'd keep an eye out. You can see this kind of like little prop up. And then now it's kind of giving you a little bit of some flagging action. 2 days of inside days there on this candle. So as long as it doesn't break 17, it's something that I can keep an eye out for. A little bit of a move back up 1750s and back towards like 18. So I'd keep this one on my radar, especially above this kind of 1736 into the 1740s. We'll see what happens in gold and silver. Silver also PAAS. Look at this chart. We've drawn this out already. Let's see if this starts to take off here towards the 16 and takes that next level. Look at the daily chart. Very similar, right? Downtrend action for a little while now. Now let's see if it starts to break this action and makes a move back here towards like 16. We'll see what happens there. All right, that's PAAS. That's silver. We'll see what else is making moves out there. Raz, what's going on? Smoke Tuna. I talked to a friend that worked at GTLB. They will talk about AI in earnings call. They always talk about AI in earnings calls nowadays. It seems like everybody talks about AI. Just got to look for it. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Steel kind of coming back, but nothing that I would keep watch. I think this is kind of more kind of just moving with the overall market. Technology, of course, actually in the red today. And so this is where we got to be a little careful. Are we seeing a topping action in the Qs today? You can see now we're starting to bounce a little bit. We were pretty weak earlier, but still kind of battling in here. All right, we'll see what else starts to make a move. Microsoft starting to get back above the VWAP. Apple finally catching a little bounce after they've been kind of really sinking since their event. But I think this was kind of more of a sell the news as people kind of rode in here last week as this came up through the all-time high and then pulling right back down. The little whoopsies through the all-time high and right back down. This is why the close is so important, team. Yes, we got up there, but we didn't close up there. So important there. All right, let's keep going. Unity going for 40. Oh, man, what a move. What a move here, team. We saw this when it was up there at 35, still pushing there towards 39. A big little squeeze up, and this is why I'm in the ARKK. Let's go, Kathy. Kathy, you want to come on any week? You're invited. Guess what? Your stocks are hot. Yes, I said it. Kathy Wood growth stocks are back, baby. Seems like it. Just look underneath the hood. See what we're seeing. Look at ARKK go today. Let's take a look at what other names are going today. Path? Who's been talking about Path here? Kathy's definitely been adding. The question is, are you? You know it, man. Palantir keeps going. It held that. It said, you know what, Bear Cave? You can go back to the Bear Cave because you ain't knocking me down. Came back down a little bit overnight throughout the weekend and right back up there, holding some resistance at the prior, holding some support at the prior resistance. Doesn't look too bad there. Palantir. DNA, one that I talked about. It seems like there's a lot of buying going on in DNA right now. I can see this on the daily. They're trying to push this. Can they squeeze this stock a little higher? Jinko Bioworks, something that I'd keep on watch. Zoom also mentioned multiple times kind of in that Apple. And then I saw other mentions of Zoom. And I think that this is when we're going to start to see maybe the real bottoming action here in Zoom. So I'm going to actually just make this line a little thicker here. I'm going to bring it down to 63.60s because I'm going to give myself a little room. But I'm thinking this is the bottoming action here for Zoom. I'm going on a limb. Now the only thing will be, will I take a trade on it? Keep watch, guys. I'll let you guys know if I do. But this is one that definitely, if we want to see ARKK continue, ZM, baby. We'll see what happens. Do we zoom and keep pushing forward? All right, catching up out there. How we doing, Manu? Just arrived from Europe, from Florida. Didn't have any chance to trade for the past 4 to 5 days. If you could sum up last week in 1 minute, what would I say? And what did you miss? Well, if I summed it up in last week in 1 minute, I'll even do better. I'll say it in one word. How's this? Last week in one word, expansion. That's what we got. And what do I mean by that? Just look at the weekly. Expansion move higher outside of the range. We were in what we call a cluster of resistance where we had a bunch of resistance here. And you guys can see that. I mean, look at all this resistance zone, right? There's so much resistance. We expanded above that. So that's what I would say for last week. All right. Well, I'm glad you got to enjoy at least a vacation. Can't be mad about that. Let's keep going. I was at the bar and telling the girl I had AI. She didn't care. Hey, that's how it goes, man. No worries. She'll care next time when she sees that 20,000 in the account, right? Let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on in the market today. It seems like we're getting a little bit of a turnaround. We'll just see how we end on the day. Do we get another leg lower here? Seems like we want to go down. We'll have to keep a watch on it. Now, NVIDIA coming back here and staying strong. That's an interesting outlook to catch. And look at the hourly and daily chart on NVIDIA. It's just holding on what we call a rising support line, right? And so what's a rising support line? Exactly this, right? You can see it here, right? It just keeps catching that on pullbacks and keeps pushing along. As long as it doesn't break that right now, I think it's holding on. And we'll just have to watch because NVIDIA kind of doing a little bit of an undercut and then rallying right now. We'll see if it gets to 395. 400 in play again? I don't know. Keep a watch. NVIDIA, I wouldn't get in front of that one. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going to get on in this market. It looks like you guys are having fun in the chat, talking a little bit about X and some other stocks. Energy is still going lower. Industrials pulling back after making that big move. Deere, Cat, right back down here, right? Well, I'm keeping a watch on the GE Life. This is the stock that never wants to give up. And you guys know I've already talked about it. I'm not fighting it as long as it stays into this channel. And what does it do on Thursday? Look at that move right back into the channel. Just keep playing it in the channel, maybe. That might be the best way to play it. But for me, I'm looking for a breakdown of this channel. At some point this year, we'll see if we get short General Electric. Just keeps riding higher. All right, let's keep going. AMD looking like it's trying to catch a little bit of a bid action. I also think this is doing a very similar move like NVIDIA, except this is not a rising support line. This is just a clear on support line. And it's right around kind of the 115. Today we went to 115.47. I can see around 115.89s. The low on Thursday was 115.80s. So I would say, you know what? Just to round it, just say 115, right? So 115 support right now. And let's see if this can start coming back through 120s and making its way. 4-hour chart is kind of the way that I would keep a really close eye on this. And I needed to come back towards 120 if I was bullish and trying to get another run in AMD. All right, let's keep going. You see, the chat loves you. That's what it's all about, man. Let's keep going. All right, let's see what other stocks are moving on the day. We still got a lot more to talk about. It's 3:30. I want to go into some of the stocks that I was looking at this morning. I did talk with Dennis Dick and, of course, Joel Conan on PreMarket Prep about IBM. And is this a sneaky AI play? Well, it certainly seems like it's setting up here for a move. And so with this being said, I'm going to actually start loading in a little bit here on IBM, even though this is such a slow stock, man. It's just hard to go after a company that just doesn't move with a big move, right? And so that's the hard part with IBM. I think this could make a move. Just the question is, what is going to be that move, and how much am I really going to get for holding on to this position? Because even if it makes a move to like 200, that's a nice move. I mean, you're talking about maybe like 50% higher, but that's like, it took how many years to do this? Look at this. This is a 12-year long trend line. Will it ever get above that 12-year long trend line? That's the hard part. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. Intel charting, we could take a look. I added a little bit today. Just keeping an eye out on to see if we can catch kind of the 9 EMA, right? I don't want it to come back to 29. I kind of am okay for it to even wick close to this 67, but it really shouldn't break kind of this 67. I wanted to kind of catch that as kind of the low and then come right back up through the 30s. I've already added once really close to 30 today, specifically 30.08. And now I want to add again, but closer towards this 29.68. And then finally, you're just risking off the 29. We'll see what happens. Monthlies, they're interesting. I mean, IBM, you can look at monthlies. You can even look at a quarterly. I like the quarterly just because it's really clean on the bottom. Monthlies is very similar. You can see it right there. And then you'll see also kind of, what do you see? A rising support line. We talk about these, right? And so that could be kind of where your out could be if you don't want to risk down towards 119, maybe closer towards 123.50s, looking for a move towards 150. We'll see what happens there in IBM. All right, let's keep going. IBM also has a 5% dividend. Nice to mention, EKS. And that's really not a bad thing, right? All right, let's keep going. What other ones are making moves on the day? Let's go to Marvell here, that recently had a big move and has been pulling back. Will it fill this gap? Very similar idea for like AMD, right? These stocks are all very similar. Will they kind of catch the dip and get some buy the dippers to just come in and take this to the next level? Or will it start to break the gap and then start coming back down? NVIDIA, you can see how quickly it is coming right back to the upside. And that might turn things in the Qs around pretty quickly, as you see in the Qs coming back right now. And so that just goes to show me, hey, you got to be quick in this market. And if not, you could definitely miss out a nice move. Now, XOM today, I am going to feel a little like hindsight 2020. Maybe I sold a little bit early. It is going lower. Some of these oil names, I rode this one from around the VWAP down towards around the 60s and the 50s. Now it's into the 30s. And of course, feeling a little bit of hindsight 2020. But like always, what we got to do is also bounce back, because I did take a hit earlier in the prop account with the square, with the SQQQ, eventually making a good trade in my Moomoo account. But I did lose on this first little cut down through the 21.38s. All right, smash the like out there, guys. I hope that you guys enjoy all the transparency and everything you guys hear. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out, of course, that prop account that I've been using, of course, check out Trade the Pool. You get a 14 free trial, and it's down at the description right now. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at some other stocks and see if I can find some trades. Maybe a little bit of a swing until tomorrow. Let's find out. All right, so the Qs overall, are we seeing a little bit of some topping action? That's one thing that I would be looking for here. It's a little bit more of a fade. Tesla was one that I lost earlier on in the day because I was trying to fade it. Do I go after it again? I just feel like this is a little bit of a topping action around the 220 area. So you see how it's coming back here really quickly. Will it come right back down to the 214? Man, earlier today, that was a hard little stop out there. And this was a little bit of a wick stop out. And that's how it happens to you sometimes. But hey, that's trading for you. That was when right here at the 1220, the 220 11s, when they went through that, I got out on that one. But Tesla coming back here, will it make a move up? I think eventually this turns around, especially if the market continues to turn around. Apple, will that make a move right back towards 178 here, or a move back above 180s? It seems like this is a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event, and they're selling the news in Apple. All right, trade the pool. What platform do they use, and do you like it? It's kind of like a DOS, but check it out, Wisdom. There's a lot on their page. I would just tell you to click on that, check it out, see what you think, right? Like always, choose your own investment advice. But what I'm trying to say is, at least for right now, I really like how the way the packages are set up, the rules that they have, and I feel like I can abide by those rules and try to keep playing the game. And that's what's the important part. All right, afternoon, folks. Made it back from the wood for the close. Walter, you enjoy that woods. Probably was better than the market today. We definitely saw a little bit of a turnaround in certain stocks, and even Apple leading the downward turn there. Qs at like 358.82s. Will we get a little bit of a SQQQ move right back to the upside here off the 2170s? We'll see. I'm not going to take that, but I will watch to see if NVIDIA can turn around here, because it just made its move right back here towards around 392s. Will it kind of make that move back through this level? You can see how kind of it tried to get through the VWAP and now could hold VWAP for kind of a throwback look. So we'll see what happens. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not shorting NVIDIA. As much as I want to short it, and a little part of me is like, yeah, you can kill it on this one. Make 30 points. The truth is, I can also lose 30 points on NVIDIA. Got to be careful with a stock that's so strong and wants to turn around, but hasn't just yet. One thing that I will point at, though, is I do see some RSI kind of convergence to the upside, where we could see finally overbought levels on NVIDIA. I know that everybody says that NVIDIA was overbought the whole time that it was going. But the truth is, this stock has a tendency of being overbought into the 90s on the RSI. And just recently, we just got into 88.70 on the upside. So that's where I can really start seeing this start turning. Right around 90 is a level that I definitely kind of keep an eye out for. And now the RSI is starting to turn away. So what am I seeing? I'm seeing from the price action a negative divergence from what's actually happening in the indicator versus what's happening in the price. What can we do? It's a lagging effect here. So it's nothing that we can jump on, but we'll notice it, especially in the next couple of days, if this makes sense, right? If we get a big down move in NVIDIA, well, the RSI was giving us a leading indicator there. And of course, that's up to you to kind of determine. The big thing I like to do is, if I start seeing the RSI turn around, I'm looking to see what happens in the price action the next couple of days, because am I getting just a fake out to the upside? And then eventually it starts lining with the RSI. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on out there, guys. Keep smashing it up. What other ones we got out there? Shorting XELA was a good choice of the day. Oh, I'm sure those stocks definitely turn around, and they turn around fast. How did Unity do after that big old pop? There you go. It started pulling back. It went from 39 all the way back here towards the 9 EMA. This is why I use the 9 EMA, because a lot of the times I'm looking for it to see if that can come into play. And you can see it was holding it. It cracked at around 37.83s. Now starting to come back there towards the VWAP. All right, ARKK made a move there to 42.25. Now pulling back here. I feel like the Qs might make a little bit of a down move, but I don't think it's going to be a big move. If anything, it's just a little bit of a leak down here. You guys let me know when the imbalances come in. What do you guys see in the markets? All right, let's keep going. There's other areas to kind of talk about in the market, of course. I'm going to go ahead and just give me one quick second. I do want to pull something up here. There we go. We can start going through some of the actions that we were looking to this morning. We did get some analysts and upgrades this morning in Estee Lauder. It was downgrades here. So how did this stock perform on that downgrade? Boom, got hit hard there. So big move there. It starts coming up a little bit, gets smacked today. And what does the analyst look like? He looks good, even though the stock just did a little pop yesterday. That's all it was, or on Friday. All right, let's take a look at Target. Target also the similar kind of outlook. It takes a day or two towards the upside. And then, of course, the analyst comes in here and says, you know what, I'm going to downgrade this. And you guys see it, Target taking another hit here. Same thing happened in DG. You get a little bit of a bounce back. And the analyst comes in and downgrades it again and smacks it right back down there. So DG, you got DG, you got Target, you got all these taking a major hit. All right, guys, in just a second, we'll be right back. I'm going to play a quick trailer for you guys. Take a sip of some water and keep going right here on Benzinga, of course. Smash it up, team.
Did you know that nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? In fact, a research paper from the Federal Reserve analyzed more than 900,000 news stories and concluded that positive news stories increase stock returns quickly. The key is getting access to breaking news live as it is happening. Benzinga Pro is the only streaming platform available to retail investors that provides the fastest live news feed in the market, so you can catch breakout stocks before they rally. Some recent winning alerts include 270% on BLPH in 4 days, 147% on CRBP in 2 days, and 118% on UNCY in 4 days. The way it works is simple. Every minute of the day, Benzinga Pro scours the market for news that moves stock prices. Not only does Benzinga Pro provide data to brokerages and other news outlets such as TradeStation, TD Ameritrade, MarketWatch, and Bloomberg. Subscribers get the same data plus real-time alerts to stay ahead of new stock rallies. But that's not all. You also get streaming stock news, trading signals, intelligent chat rooms, daily trade picks from professional traders, stock audio with real-time updates, a stock scanner to identify new rallies, and so much more. Basically, all the information and research tools you need to stay ahead of the market and in front of big stock moves. For a limited
All right, team, I'm back, and definitely check out, of course, Benzinga Pro. You guys can get the link and get your free trial right down below in the description. Let's keep it going here and see what we can catch towards the close. It's 3:43. Stocks are starting to catch a little bit of a bounce after the recent kind of downturn here. You guys can see this, and I'm going to take a look here at the Qs because I feel like the Qs have been leading on the day. They're the ones that kind of turned around really quickly here, around the 357.39s. Now starting to work their way back. And of course, NVIDIA is another way to kind of keep a watch on this. I talked about how this was starting to come back really strong. And there you have it towards the close. Same thing here now for AMD. I could look for a kind of a little push higher towards the 118.75s, maybe the 119s towards the close here, which wouldn't be that bad, right? We're talking about maybe like a 30-cent risk here for about a what, 40, 70-cent reward. Not looking too bad there. Probably about like closer to a 2-to-1 trade here. I'm not going to take it because I'm pretty much done with the prop account on the day. Just want to continue to kind of rinse and repeat with this prop account. Did make a mistake Friday. Learn from that mistake. Balancing things back out and just trying to battle on. Today, still a little down on the account, but nowhere near where I was earlier in the day. Was able to bounce back with that XOM trade to the downside. All right, and we'll continue to watch stocks like Unity. They have news today and Zoom that we're kind of pushing strong, and you guys can see how Zoom continues to push. This is one that I definitely would maybe take a shot on a little bit of a swing trade action, and I could see that kind of holding on there. It doesn't look too bad. It's just really strong on the day right now. So I'm going to be looking for some pullback action somewhere close towards the 68.50s. And I don't want to jump up here at 69, but definitely it looks pretty strong on the day. Zoom video communications. And of course, I've been talking about how Roku looks good for me in ARKK, and this is really starting to turn around and now can really start maybe catching a little bit of a lift. Now the only question is, can Roku really start turning things around? Maybe coming out with something AI related. I don't know how they do it, but figure something out, Roku. Let's get this going. It looks like a nice little chart. Looks like you just created the right shoulder of an inverse head and shoulders. So you guys can see here, there's like an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, right shoulder, the head. Now just needs to be worried about what? Where's what they call the neckline? The neckline's the important thing because that's where you could get the break, right? And so I would say looking over here would be kind of towards the neckline, but some people might put it closer towards a little bit down, closer towards over here, towards kind of like the 62s. So I'll be watching a little bit further up, and I put it over here. And I'd be looking for a nice little push towards like 65.46. We could also look at this on a kind of a weekly. Weekly can kind of help us try to find that. And it looks more like an undercut and rally on the weekly as it's cut down and is trying to rally right back. So we'll see what happens there in Roku. All right, let's keep going, team. I'll start doing some ticker time here. It's 3:46. You guys throw up any ticker you guys want to take a look at. Tesla. With you running, do we expect other growth names that are not going to zero to rise up? SE, for example. Well, SE is a little different. I think that has to do with more electronic gaming and multimedia and some other outlook there. And you guys can see how that's been doing on the daily. This is not necessarily what I would consider part of that growth names that you're mentioning there. The growth names that I think you would be kind of mentioning there, Tom, is more like, let's say, Affirm. Talked about this and how this has been just climbing up on the daily, just slowly but surely. Upstart. You saw how that one kind of took off, right? Nice little move to the upside. Carvana. Names like that, right? Names that we thought they were probably maybe not going to, or maybe they're not going to zero anymore and are seeing their story turn around. But it also has already happened too. So with what you're saying here, are they expecting others to run now? I mean, I think you're a little bit late to the party and looking for those moves, but you just got to keep an eye out and know your levels, right? That's what I'm doing. And also know your growth names that you're looking at. Roblox has been one that we've been talking about for a little while now, and it's just been hanging tight here, just kind of sideways. This one could take a next step up. I like the rising support line. I like how it's touched 40s multiple times. Now can make a move back towards 42.50s. This is not a bad one to keep an eye out for, and one that I definitely would put on my radar. Why not, right? Roblox looking pretty decent here. We'll see what happens there. All right, I see some stocks mentioning in the chat. We'll see what else is going on. Matt said, sold my Unity shares on a candle before it took off like a rocket. Hey, can't be mad about that, Matt. Just shake your head. Keep going, man. Know your game. Know what you're good at. If something else happens out of our control and it gives us something or makes us lose something, realize, go back to the first part. It was out of our control, and we keep moving forward. As traders, one of the things that we have to do is be quick-minded, be quick to kind of let things go. And I think that that's one thing that I'm actually good at. But another thing that a lot of traders maybe suffer at, right? Where they do, like, something happens where it wasn't according to what they would have got the biggest return on. Let's say in this case, a news comes out after you sold. Just let it go, man. Give yourself the pat on the back, especially if it was a good trade. Like for me, the SQQQs, right? I did a good, nice little day trade today, but did I get the top move? Did I get 2180s? No, I got 2178. Am I going to be mad about that? No. I mean, and even if this stock were to go to 22, 23 today, would I be mad about it? No, because what matters more is the processed approach coming into the trade and understanding that we're always going to miss out on some of the profit. The key is, can you just get a nice little portion of that, a little piece, a bigger piece, hopefully, than your risk? All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is being called out in the chat. I see a lot of kind of Apple mentions. Let's take a look at some other ones. Wayfair being brought up by Francis. I can't tell you to buy or sell here just because I'm not a financial advisor. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for education purposes, but I can tell you what I see on this chart, and I can see a turnaround in the name that does have some growth, that has been sleepy for the last couple of days and now has really just started to get the motor going. So I think this is also classic undercut and rally. You got a lot of volume in the recently here in early May. Now you're pushing through those levels in late May and now starting to take another step up here in June. Where could this one go to? First stop for me is where we're at right now. You can see here, there's some resistance or some prior support that is acting as resistance right now. And then from here, next level up could be a move towards like 52 and even further back up. So we'll see what happens to Wayfair. Doesn't look too bad. Another name that could move with some of the growth names. All right, let's keep going. We go to NIO. Jeff wants to take a look at that. I got you. Let's keep going here, team. Especially if you threw up a ticker or you guys want to see some of these and continue going through the charts, do me the favor, smash the like. It keeps us keep on growing. All right, here comes NIO. Let's take a look there as this is coming down here. And it just looks to me like this doesn't want to turn around at all. This is just going to get continued wrecked. And the trend hasn't changed in like what now? Since 21, man. And that just goes to show me that I don't want anything to do with NIO. Maybe on a day trade, you can take that type of opinion and try to ride with it. But the truth is, right now, this seems to me like this hasn't turned around and needs a big move through 10 for me to feel any confidence that this is starting to come back, right? A big move through 10. Yeah, if it makes a huge candle towards like 10 or 12, maybe we can take a look at it. But right now, this is still on the leak to the downside. XPEV still on the leak to the downside. Similar charts, right? LI is one that I would watch in China. If you're looking at NIO, LI seems like the better and the best of breed, even though it was a little bit different story in 2021. And you can see how this is kind of lining up. And what I like about it is that you actually have levels to the left to go off of versus like NIO, where it's just like straight altitude type of charts. So I like LI out of all three, but for right now, not looking good. Riot is going to be very similar to my Mara outlook. It's not looking good. It could break support around 10 and just let go. Mitch, on the book club, we need to get a good book on psychology. We already covered one, Smoke Tuna. I don't know if you were able to be a part of that one. Our first book was Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. There's another book that I want to take a look at is by Jared Tenure. So stay tuned, of course, to the book club. There's going to be some great books coming through. I also got a couple of them waiting for us right back there. So they're ready to come after it. And we'll read more trading psychology. We try to mix it up. We're on a pattern book right now, but definitely stay tuned, Smoke Tuna. There's more coming. All right, let's take a look there at FRZA. That was one of the top movers of the day, and I feel like this was trying to fight 3 and really it got through 3, but has a tendency of struggling there. And now you've had a move up 1, 2, 3. I think you can maybe get one more move, but eventually this kind of turns around. It is trying to hold the 3 right now. It's been holding in kind of the 9 EMA on the hourly. You can see on the 15, you get these kind of push and pulled back, push and pull back, push and pull back. Let's see if it can really push through 350. If not, this could be kind of already gave its 3 runs and then just starting to let go. And why do I look at that in that mentality? Because I think about it in kind of the what we call Dow theory, right? So this would be the 1 move. This would be the 2. This would be the 3. This would be the 4. This would be the 5. And now you're starting to get what? Your ABC pullback, right? So you get your A move, you get a B move to the upside, and then you get a C move to come right back through the 250s, and you're starting to let go. Not the stock that I would be looking at right now. But then again, to each his own. We'll keep watching. All right, let's keep going. Matt, well said, Mitch. Matt's point, remember that Kathy Wood said NVIDIA just before it's sold, NVIDIA, just before it sold last month. Yeah, and it happens even to the greatest, right? You don't think Kathy's mad about selling NVIDIA before that rip? I'm sure she's mad about it, but hey, that's life. We just keep moving. Try to keep focus. Don't let your focus fall off. This is what a lot of traders do, and then they just start getting on this kind of losing streak. This is what we can't let happen, and we got to be here to continue to battle on. Battle on, team. XOM going lower, and yes, I'm feeling the FOMO as this is going now into the 35s and could go lower, even towards the 105.25s. I had this at 106.05 for the short, but now it keeps going lower. Kind of feel a little bit of the FOMO there, but I'll keep watching to see any oil moves back to the downside. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the cues. Do we get action here towards the close? It looks like there could be a little bit of a pullback. Just have to wait and find out. NVIDIA is pretty strong, but still, I mean, I think this is just trying to hang on here through this action. All right, what else we got in the chat? We got net. Net, let's take a look. NEO earnings Friday probably won't be good. Yeah, I wouldn't be feeling too confident about that. Let's take a look at net here. Net is trying to make another step up here. I would take a look at the weekly because it seems like it's been kind of trying to make a longer term trend line break here. On the weekly, you got above it, and it's nice little pullback action here. So it doesn't look too bad as it pulled back and held the trend line. I would really want it to hold around 65s, but it might never get back there. You might never get your opportunity. Definitely wants to take out Friday 72. If it gets through there, you can start pushing to the next level. I can see next level up 72.45, and then the next level from there to kind of come closing this gap again, 76.10. We'll see if this starts to move. This is software infrastructure. I don't know too much about net. I think this was just in the cloud space from what I remember, but I need to do a little bit more research to understand it. All right, can't understand the Fubo chart. Is it going to move up or down? Well, Matt, I wish I could tell you that, and I wish I knew because I'd probably trade it and take the money and run. But for right now, what's going on with Fubo, at least from what I can see? This is a stock that just got an extreme amount of volume. So what do I always look there? Whenever it gets that extreme amount of volume, can we come back towards that support? We actually came back to try to fill some of this gap right here, right? So you guys can see that gap. We come towards 149. The gap closed at 147. So it was a perfect kind of undercut into the gap and now trying to recover. So this could make a move to $2 here and start to push higher. This is actually a move that doesn't look bad on the daily, especially because you went back into the gap and you know you're out below that 147 and you're trying to make a move here towards $2. You could also take a look at it on like a 4-hour chart or an hourly chart and see how the action is kind of holding on here, has pulled back, and now starting to get some strength. I'd be looking for pullbacks to look for entry, but Fubo actually doesn't look too bad right now on the daily. Of course, this is still in a long-term downtrend. All right, let's keep going. Coin, the short of the day, and this is a lot to do with kind of more of what's going on with the SEC and, of course, Binance. So keep your eyes out there to see what happens. We still haven't found out about the Wells report too. I don't know, guys. I don't want to trade coin at all. It's just not something that I want to be a part of. Is it something that I could short? Yeah, maybe I could short it. Like MSTR seems like an interesting opportunity for me. And today could have been one of those days to definitely go after it, especially with the Binance news. It went from 290 to 275. So I'll keep this one on my radar for maybe shorting some of the Bitcoin play. Wisdom said you're channeling your inner Kathy. We'll see what happens. Wow, now all I hear is bye, 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 bye. I'm sure. It's difficult. Keith, what's going on, man? It's good to see you in the chat. It's good to have you back. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what other stocks are moving here. The Qs look like they want to fade here towards the close. Can we see what else is going on? It's 3:59. It's about to be pencils down, team. We'll see what happens in the market. Unity with a big rip up to 39 today. I'm staying with my ARKK. Swinging on, baby. Swinging on. NCLH. Still got that one. We'll see what happens in Square. Can that continue to go higher? Growth names overall, LAZR in the red for me. Intel deep into the red for me. Did not add to it today. I did add to it today earlier. Did not add to it while the show was going on. I will look to maybe add to it tomorrow, but of course, I've talked about the level that I want to hold on. I do want to hold on here towards kind of the 29.70 level. Don't really want to see that break. So tomorrow might be able to add and just hold right underneath that. We'll see what happens there on Intel with a quick little turnaround. All right, that's all, folks. That's going to do it for us. Smash the like, pencils down, pinkies on up. Definitely keep battling out in this market. It's not easy. There's not one way to win, and the Heat know that best, right? You just got to keep going after it, team. Keep trying to improve your skills. Always understand that one day doesn't make the next. I know I struggled on Friday with a prop mistake, but now, what am I doing? I'm not letting that mistake hold me back. I'm trading, just trying to focus on what? Profit to loss ratio and repeating process like always. You guys have a great one. Take care. I'll see you guys bright and early on, of course, pre-market prep. And like always, if you guys have any feedback for any show, not just mine, definitely send me at Mitch@Benzinga, and we'll see you next time. Smash it up, team. Keep working out there.